No, it's a ruin now.
Yeah, we were doing Prices Right. It was really fun. Oh, right. I turned on the echo voice.
All right, it's an even better intro. Man. Welcome to The Price is Football. Today, maybe the Jets can win a game.
That's a funny joke you just made.
Find the 5 missing quarterbacks on the board and wide receivers, and you could win a game. New York Jets.
What was your favorite Price is Right game?
Ooh. I loved Plinko.
Plinko's the go-to, I think. But if it wasn't Plinko, what would it be?
I don't like Plinko that much because it's like so random. I like the one where they had to guess the 3 different things. I forget what that one's called.
Yeah.
Guess the 3 different things. I think that's what they call it.
Yeah, that's what.
What's the one with the little man, like the cliffhanger guy?
Exactly what I was gonna go for, man.
Yes.
I forget what it's called, but I think it's cliffhanger or something like that. Yeah.
Oh, what is that?
That's what he did. He went up the mountain and he did.
Did you guys ever see? Because I bring this up because I just watched the trailer to El Camino, the Breaking Bad movie. Did you guys ever see the clip of Aaron Paul, the guy who plays Jesse on The Price is Right?
Yeah, I did actually. He was so excited.
He was
genuinely
extremely
excited about it.
Yeah, it's so good.
Oh, dude, the one where you gotta punch the things for the money or whatever. Remember that one?
Things for the money.
It's like a bunch of little paper holes, and you have to punch into it.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Anyway, welcome back to our Price is Right fan show, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in for one more week. We thought we couldn't get 35,000 episodes out of this, but lo and behold, here we are, an episode 35,000
Here we
of our
are.
Price is Right fan show.
Speaking of thousands, we have crossed the 1,000
Oh my God,
mark
you are
on
right.
YouTube.
And guess what? I have went to check if we are eligible for monetization, and YouTube has said they are now reviewing the channel.
They're reviewing. We're under review.
That we've thrown the red flag. We're under review, and our decision will come in a month.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. These people deserve no money.
Don't say that. So we need to make her like $5 so we can at least like cover the cost of being on SoundCloud.
Pay me for being here.
They're currently on my taxes. Yeah.
They're deep in the red
point.
right now. My appearance fees have been through the roof lately.
Yeah. We need Sinvicta just hasn't shown up, and so we have to pay Bear to get on here. Can't be 2 guys. 3 guys.
Well, that was your moment.
I'm sorry. I just
it was it might as well have just been a toss written. Hey Rob, here's where you say it.
You know, I'm sorry. Like, I actually don't even know what we were talking about because I got so zoned out because I read the story. Back to school, AB re-enrolls at Central Michigan.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Of course.
What the? Well, first of all, should we even? Because maybe we're feeding the beast by talking about this.
We definitely are. Yeah.
I mean, this is what
Because
ESPN
he listens to
feels
this
like.
show.
This is exactly what ESPN does. They just feed into the thing, and then they're like, looks like Antonio Brown has decided to rent an outhouse in his backyard. We're gonna have 8 reporters check that story out. We're gonna verify it and have a 3-hour special segment as well as a 60 and 60.
Down toilet cam ready for 24/7 coverage of Antonio Brown's outhouse.
Did you guys hear the news? Antonio Brown tweeted, Juju Smith-Schuster is bad at football.
No,
we're gonna have 24/7 news coverage on this tweet. Make sure we get opinions for every single person on planet Earth so that you can make a comfortable decision on what your opinion should be.
So yeah, Antonio Brown's crazy.
Yeah.
And he got cut from the Patriots, and now he's going back to school. But is he going back to school? I don't.
Does he think he can play for the team?
Dude, I really hope he tries. That would be fucking hilarious if 32, 33-year-old Antonio Brown walks on to Central Michigan to play.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah, I've got another year of eligibility, boys.
So yeah, at this point, it's like, we'll just give you your weekly Antonio Brown update. He'll probably do something else. And that's what he's doing this week. He's going back to school.
Overseas or something. I don't know, man.
Okay, think about the timeline we've had in the last like month and a half. 1 week of this show, we were like, dude, Raiders are going to be pretty good once he finds his helmet. Then it was like, oh man, he's literally yelling at everybody on the Raiders. Then it was like, the Raiders are getting rid of him. Then it was like, the Patriots are picking him up. Then it's like, he's got some crazy shit going on with that. And now he's cut by the Patriots. And now he's going back to school. We went from Antonio Brown trying to find a helmet a few months ago, being on Hard Knocks, to going back to school.
And I think more like importantly to remember, this all started because he kicked himself out of Pittsburgh, where he had just gotten a new contract, a new long-term deal. So that means this man, in the course of like 6 months, has gone through 3 long-term deals with 3 different NFL teams. And the result of all of that chaos is now he's retired. It's just madness.
What do we have in non-Antonio Brown news?
Great,
lots of
great
things.
point. We have a lot of things.
That's surprising.
Here's I don't know if you guys watched the game last night with the Redskins and the Bears.
Not really.
I barely did either. I kind of was just hoping the Bears would lose, and I didn't think they would, and they didn't. Because turns out
Bears.
Redskins are very bad. And I just read that the Redskins had Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Matt LaFleur on their coaching staff. And they're now a combined 9-0 to start the season, and the Redskins are 0-3 with their current staff. However,
Dude,
I feel like...
Please continue.
Well, I feel like the problem is their general manager.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I feel like at this point, the obvious common denominator is Daniel Snyder.
Yeah.
So,
So I'm looking. I mean, this is top level analysis to be sure. But I'm looking at the box scores here and seeing the most startling statistic of 2009, which would be Adrian Peterson limited to like just over double-digit carries in the first 3 games of the season. And when he's 32, admittedly, so he's not 2009 AP like I am currently suggesting. But like, shouldn't Adrian Peterson run the ball more? Doesn't that still seem like a good idea? More than like 10 times.
Thank God AP is no longer playing well.
because I don't give a fuck about that man. But yeah, well, the thing is, what happened is they drafted their running back last year, Darius Geis, and then he got injured
I'm seeing
and
that.
didn't play all year. And I believe right now, currently, Darius Geis is injured again.
Yeah.
Seems to be the case. So looking deeper and deeper into it, and again, I'll admit to complete ignorance of the situation over there in DC, but it just seems like no matter who you have in the backfield, put me back there, have me run at least 3 more times. But just like they were up big in week 1. But even with I'm sorry, I forgot his name already, but the rookie that you just mentioned, or the new draft pick,
Guys,
they had him. Yeah, guys, so they had him in the game. He still only had 12 carries. He didn't get the ball either. 10 carries, and they were up 10-0 in the first quarter in that game. Like, how does that happen?
In the game yesterday?
No, I'm
1.
sorry, in week 1 is what I'm talking about. Back when they actually had Geis in the lineup, even back then, they're not running the ball at all. Case Keenum has thrown it 40+ times in every single game.
Which, again, is fucking terrible for Case Keenum. Of course he's going to look bad if you make him throw 50 times a game.
He's even doing okay in those circumstances.
No, yeah.
Not good, but like he's surviving.
Because the thing is, for the last 2 fucking years, I mean, at least now they're going back to short passing with him, but for the last 2 years, people haven't understood why Case Keenum was successful in Minnesota. They didn't ask him to do a lot. They didn't ask him to pass that often. And when they did, it was all quick passing. Because he's good at that. He's good at managing the game. He can do that. He's a good enough player to do that. Like, he's like basically average, maybe like somewhere in the range of slightly above or slightly below average. You can't fucking call on the guy to throw 50 times a game. Now, granted, in the game yesterday, though, They were down. Yeah, they were down 28-3 and by the first half.
It started very bad because Case Keenum threw a pick six to Clinton Dix.
And that's a guy we know.
Yeah, it was a very bad pass, mind you, and he was constantly under pressure from like Khalil Mack and the entire Bears defense.
Yeah,
that's really a lot better than the Redskins' offensive line. It was a bad game, and I was like, man, I can't wait to play the Redskins because that's a free win right there.
Oh, game against.
Sorry,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna make an adjacent point, which was that we haven't brought out that Sinvicta was not only late, but he's not here. But sorry, go on.
Yes. Well, we did kind of bring that up.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, sorry.
We can move past the Redskins at this point, though.
All right, yeah, they're bad.
They're 0-3 for God's sake. We can talk about someone else who's doing a little better, maybe.
Then everybody? Well, I wanted to bring up the Bears too, because now a lot of people at the Bears are like, "Hey guys, our offense looked pretty good," and I was like, "You can't." Okay, we're rewinding it again. You can't just be like, "Is the Packers' offense bad because they scored like enough points to beat the Bears," and then play the Redskins' shitty defense and be like, "Guys, I think our offense is good
back."
Now." Like, okay. So, I still don't think the Bears offense is very good. And I think it'll show once they start playing good teams, like literally the entire NFC North. So that's fun.
But I will say, I mean, like the Redskins, I'm pretty sure had like a top 10 defense last year. I don't know if they still do this year so far. I'm pretty sure, but I mean, I could be wrong.
Check the stat book.
We
check
should
the
look at the
stats.
stats. I'm gonna check the stats. Hold on, let me go check the stats.
In fact,
the Bears
check the
are
stats
actually looking decent, though. I mean, Trubisky is Trubisky, but the Bears D is decent.
Well, the Bears defense is very good. It's like a top 3-4 defense, but the problem is still their offense, and that's kind of the staple of the Bears for history. Is like they have a very good defense and an offense that's like, will they be good enough to win?
Yeah.
So. It's going to be interesting. And the other big thing is just injuries, as we found out with every team, is once you start getting the injuries, things change quite a bit.
Losing very good players hurts the team?
It's crazy, I know.
Yeah, so in yards allowed last year, the Redskins were like 16th.
So they're the middle.
Yeah, it's like middle of the pack. Points per game, they're right around the same spot. So yeah, middle of the pack.
Yeah. All right. Well,
next, Coach?
Let's let's just hop right into the game of the week, which was the Jets Patriots. Now I didn't get to see this one. I did see Le'Veon Bell got me like 9 points or something, and I kind of expected that. But do tell how this game went.
I'm curious to hear from your perspective, actually, Rob.
Oh, I was going to say Bear, take it away, but yeah, sure. Let's go for it. The Jets suck. I really I don't know if we're going to win a single game this year. Like legitimately, I actually don't know at this point. It's so funny because before the season started, I legitimately felt like I had some hope. I was like, I think we're expecting playoffs. It should we should be done with the rebuild by now, and I think we could have playoffs. I mean, seriously, it took one game. The season's over. Luke Falk. It turns out Luke Falk, not Tom Brady.
Yeah,
he's fine. He's a 6th round pick.
Yeah,
that's what I expected. Well. Yeah,
dude.
The Jets.
Let's be fair to the poor kid. This was a pretty tough first fucking game.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I don't think Luke Falk is definitely not the reason that we lost this game.
I'll tell you exactly who is the one person who is the reason you lost this game is Darryl Roberts.
Yeah.
Now, who is Darryl Roberts? I don't actually know.
The loss for this team rests on the shoulders of Darryl Roberts, who no one knows, and that's for good reason. He's pretty bad. We drafted him in the 7th round, apparently, in 2015. The Patriots did, but cut him as part of the final cuts for that year. And then the Jets picked him up in 2018, I think, or maybe even like before that, but had him on the practice squad or something. I don't know exactly how it went down. But he played all of last year and got a contract extension. Yeah. And then the Patriots, apparently when they studied the game film this year, made the decision, Darryl Roberts is really bad. Let's just every single I'm not joking, dude. Watch the game. Almost every play in the air goes toward Darryl Roberts. They mention his name so much in the broadcast. It's crazy. Like they even make the point of it, like, wow, they're really attacking Roberts today. It's insane.
Yeah, let me sing for you the ballad of Darryl Roberts, because it's the ballad of the New York Jets. True. You see, the tale of Darryl Roberts goes like this. Last year, we were also a bad team. No surprise there. We found out that our highest paid corner, who we had just given a contract, Trumaine Johnson, maybe sorta wasn't actually that good. The Jets fans saw that. Yeah. I don't know if the team saw that. They probably didn't, because they kept fucking playing him. But that was Todd Bowles, right? Of course, Morris Claiborne or True goes down. I don't remember which one, but Darryl Roberts comes in, and of course, on a losing team, we saw Darryl Roberts as a shining light, of a ray of hope, because he actually played pretty well in certain circumstances late in our losing season.
Last year, right?
Yep. Yeah. And this, of course, is the ballad of the New York Jets and Darryl Roberts, because this always happens to us, where we get enamored in a horribly losing season with some player who is a late-round draft pick, like, for instance, Bryce fucking Petty, that we did a couple of years ago, because he looked kind of good in our horribly losing season when teams aren't really playing against us that fucking hard near the end of the year. So, fast forward to this year, Darryl Roberts has a new contract that he got from Mike McCagnon, the GM that ended up getting fucking fired by the Jets. And
3 years, $18 million, just for context.
Yep. And here's the thing. Trumaine Johnson this year, Greg Williams is our D coordinator, and he sees within moments that Trumaine Johnson is actually a terrible corner, and it makes no sense at all that he's the highest paid corner on the team. In fact, I think he's the highest paid defensive player on the team at all.
5 years
over Mosley?
Mil.
Well, yeah, maybe not. Maybe Mosley now, and maybe like Avery Williamson probably, but it's a lot of money for Trumaine Johnson, and he is now benched. He's making one of the highest contracts on the team, and he's benched because he's bad. And the only person that we have to replace him, because Mo Claiborne is also gone, basically, is Darryl Roberts. So, of course, just attack Darryl Roberts. You should. The Patriots made the right play. Always attack him because he's bad. Yeah.
There are two very specific plays that you can watch back that are probably even in the highlight reels, because one of them was a Josh Gordon catch that was fucking incredible that you should watch anyway.
It was good, yeah.
There were two plays that you see it like, what is he doing? That's not what you should be doing in that position. And in both circumstances, he sees the ball begin to come toward the defender he's supposed to be on, looks toward the defender, realizes he is not close enough, and begins to run to try to close the gap, does not turn back to get his head on the ball, and instead just attacks the defender directly. One time it's not called, and Josh Gordon makes the catch anyway, and it's a miraculous play. The other time it's a defensive pass interference. He completely fucks up the play both times, and he does not that exactly, but that kind of stuff, those kinds of just like minutia lack of awareness mistakes that ultimately cost you the play, like it just was on display over and over and over again.
Yep, and is very much the case. Yeah, he sucked.
He's
on receiving floor, but
at least the Jets have Ty Montgomery.
Yeah. Yeah. Got that going.
I didn't even mean to necessarily turn that into like the shit on Darryl Roberts segment, but like,
oh no, you're right though. So
it was miraculous. Like it's been a while since I've seen the team just directly attack one guy mercilessly on offense like that.
I said this. I think in our chat here, right? This is the hell that is a Jets fan. Our biggest needs right now, as in 2019, are offensive line, wide receiver, and cornerback. Those are our 3 biggest needs.
Mm-hmm.
Our 3 biggest needs in 2017 were offensive line, offensive line, and cornerback. So this is the frustrating part, is everyone that's watching at home knows exactly what the problem is. The management seems incapable of identifying it. And
Or
it's
maybe just
so
incapable of
frustrating.
solving it.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. But basically, from the Jets side of this game, the Jets are fucking terrible. I turned off the game. I didn't like after the first half. Okay. Technically, I didn't turn off the fucking game because I'm too weak. I still can't not support the fucking Jets, even though every logical bone in my body tells me
Says be a
stop
Patriots
doing
fan.
it. Yeah, just stop.
Honestly, it's
you get to be happy if you
If you root for New England, you get to enjoy it. It's great,
Yeah,
dude.
I can watch them win a
I
Super
grew
Bowl
up.
ring.
I grew up a Cubs fan, so I feel your pain.
Yeah, it's terrible. Like
We won then.
Yeah, and then the thing is, like, every bone in my, so I had the game on in the side, but after the half, I was just like, I'm just gonna watch the fucking Ravens game. There's no point. The Jets. This is what I've said this on the show before. The Jets don't just lose; they lose shamefully.
Yeah, like those 14 points, by the way, are a complete wash, because they were the fault entirely of 2 rookies who made mistakes that cost points. Like that was all that happened.
Yep.
Special teams mistake and an overthrow by Jared Stidham, who is the rookie QB for the Patriots.
I think right now, and I could be wrong about this, and it could be slightly more, but right now, I'm pretty sure that the Jets' entire offense has scored so far across 3 games 12 points.
The
12
Patriots
points.
defense has scored that many points.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling how bad they are.
Yeah. Well, you get Sam Darnold back probably week 5 from what we're hearing. And then maybe Mosley and Williams will be back. And maybe then you could,
I'm starting to honestly, I've been trying to salvage optimism through the first 3 weeks, but I'm starting to get to the point where you're maybe better off rooting for the tank right now.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, here's the thing, right? I don't think that it's realistic that he's coming back week 5. But sure, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is, right?
Yeah.
Do I really want Sam Darnold in that line?
Dude, your schedule's brutal too. That's the fucking thing. That's why I'm saying you may want to start just to think about the silver lining, because
let's see,
Eagles, Cowboys, Pats again.
Well, Bear, on the bright side, what's great about that is I can't wait to get that great draft pick so that we can pick our 10th defensive lineman. I can't wait, dude. It's
gonna get so many sacks.
He's a generational player, guys. We can't. Look, I know that we say this every year, but we can't pass up on this one.
After you play the Patriots again, then you play the Jaguars. That could be a toss-up, maybe, unless Gardner tears you apart.
I mean,
which
he
will
could win that game.
But he's got meme magic on his side. He's winning the Super Bowl this year.
Then you've got Dolphins, Giants, Redskins, Raiders, Bengals,
I hope they
Dolphins.
Flex that fucking Jets Dolphins match next month. That's gonna be some.
Honestly, it could be like a high quality college football game.
Probably, yeah. Well, if Sam Darnold's playing.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 winnable games right there.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually true.
We knew, here's the thing. We knew coming into the season that the toughest part of our schedule was the first 6 weeks. That was definitely the case. We knew that going in. We were most people on the Jets subreddit weren't deluded about that. We were expecting probably not having a great record by week 5.
Well, you'd think you'd be 1-2 right now, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. We're 0-3. The offense have scored 12 points. I don't have any belief at all that anyone can score any points with this offense right now. And it doesn't matter if it's Luke Falk or Sam Darnold or fucking Peyton Manning. It doesn't fucking matter. I don't think anybody's going to. So that's the thing, is that we were hoping that.
You might even be hoping 2-1 right now. You almost won that first game, and then
the
Browns game you probably chalked up as hopefully a win, I'd imagine.
Like, legitimately, points-wise, that first game would have been won if our kicker had made even a single kick. Like, so
there's so many new ways to be miserable. It's just fucking hilarious, man.
That's what being a Jets fan is. It sucks. It's the worst.
Oh, that's so funny though.
I kind of had that last year with the Packers with like the Clay Matthews penalties and the things.
You got a year of it. I've had 10.
Man. Well, thank God we're out of that because we're 3-0 now after beating the Denver Broncos. Is honestly pretty. It was one of those games where like the defense carried us again, and I love our new defense. Can you imagine spending money in free agency and all of your guys that you spent money on do well?
Yeah, that feels good. I bet
it's so good. And then the guys you drafted in the first round also contribute. It's great.
I'm gonna be honest. I think the Packers are a really scary team this year, like legitimately, because we've seen the past number of years, like with Drew Brees and what's his face, Phillip Rivers, that like those guys who never got a defense. When they finally got a defense, they became like perpetual playoff contenders.
Yeah, they became super
year over year.
That's the thing is Aaron Rodgers had that too. The one year we had like a decent defense is when we won the Super Bowl, and then the next year went 15-1, and that was just it was more of like it should have been, and it was more of like a turnover heavy defense. Like we just would get a lot of turnovers. Like it was Charles Woodson, Nick Collins, like all those guys, and so. I think this defense is better than that defense. This may be the best defense I've ever seen as a Packer fan. It is like, it's mind-blowing. How like it gets to the point where the offense is like kind of sputtering and they're still trying to learn the system. And I'm like, can we watch the defense again? That was really fun. And so it's like Preston Smith came from Washington, 3 sacks. He had 3 sacks. Zadarius Smith from Baltimore had 2 sacks. That alone, all right, here's a fun stat. Those 2 guys this game got 5 sacks. Guess how many sacks Nick Perry and Clay Matthews had last year, the entire season?
4.
5 sacks.
Oh,
in one game, these 2 free agents have tied our entire pass rush linebackers from last year.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And so... on top of that, Darnell Savage, one of our first-round draft picks, had an interception on top of just being everywhere the ball is. Jair Alexander ripped the ball out of Noah Fant's hands. He caught it, and he just ripped it out.
Ripped it out of a man's hand.
Out of a man's hands. Also, Jair Alexander, probably one of the best corners in the league at this point. Not even saying that as like a biased Packer fan. He has along with Corey Littleton of the Rams and Logan Ryan of Tennessee, the most passes defended in the league.
Oh boy.
He's got the Bill Belichick stamp of approval from when we played him last year.
Coveted.
Yeah.
And he's very good. And then on top of that, Amos is just a solid safety back there. It's like Blake Martinez leading the entire league in tackles. Oh my God. So outside of me being like, whoa, we did pretty good. We shut down Joe Flacco, which again, not hard to do. The problem was Philip Lindsay had a pretty good day, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. So they kind of did the old school Vic Fangio ground and pound. The problem is they turned the ball over a lot. And then before you knew it, we were up like 27-16, and then it was over. So once Joe Flacco started throwing, it was bad for them. The problem is still our offense because Aaron Rodgers. Here's literally every game. This is what happens. We have a good first quarter, or he'll like do one of those play actions like bombs to Valdez-Scantling touchdown, and then we don't do anything for like 3 quarters, and we just run the ball. And it's kind of like, is it going to get better next week? So. My hope is that we've played like 3 solid defenses, like Denver, Chicago, Minnesota. And so now that we're kind of out of that and we're getting a little more gelled as an offense, that everything will start coming to life. But that's kind of my only worry right now is I'm like, let's go. Here we go. Because Aaron Rodgers, he's actually missing some throws too, which is kind of scary.
I was going to mention he looks a little worse than usual, but he's still obviously very, very good, even with that being the case.
Yeah, like he'll make the 50-yard bomb perfectly to Valdez Scantling, and you're like, oh, nice. And then he just misses the Geronimo Allison wide open across the middle, and I'm like, okay. Maybe it's because he didn't play in the preseason, I don't know. Even though we're in week three. I'm just kind of drawing it up to maybe it's just he's still getting used to the offense, but I don't know.
You guys are just gonna draft another Hall of Famer in a year.
Probably.
It doesn't fucking matter.
Still, we've had a pretty solid running game. We do what Mike McCarthy never wanted to do, and we just pound the ball. Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, looking good. And I still have hope. Offensive line's pretty solid. That was the biggest thing. Aaron Rodgers said after the game, he got knocked down once. Literally one time.
Wow.
So he was like, I literally feel fine. This is the best I've felt ever. And he's like, so going into Thursday night, he's like, normally you're like, short week, this sucks. He's like, honestly, I could play it right now.
Damn.
It was actually insane. So that made me happy.
Yeah,
and
that is actually remarkable to think about, the fact that he was just able to stand there not getting hit
Yeah.
the whole game.
The entire game. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
And they kept flashing the stat of the Denver Broncos have 0 sacks and 0 turnovers on defense.
Oh, good
They actually,
God. I didn't realize they were so bad. There's so many really
That's-
bad teams this year.
That's really weird, right?
It
Wait,
is.
hold on. Vic Fangio is their head coach,
Yes.
right? The defensive genius, and he has both Bradley Chubb and Von Miller on his defense, and they have 0 sacks across 3 games.
From what I've heard, Vic Fangio doesn't like to blitz. And so he kind of just goes hey, Chubb and Von Miller, just get at him. And literally all we would do is just block those guys. And then none of their other players can do anything. And so it's kind of, that seems to be their issue. And then they would just double team Adams. And then, or someone else would be open. We had a fullback play for 40 yards, which I love our fullback. Danny Vitale. Dude's jacked. Just having a fullback's always the best. And so
It is hard
overall,
to rush Aaron Rodgers, in fairness, but
it is. Especially in Green Bay. I was in Green Bay too.
yeah,
But
because whenever you're rushing him, you always have to contain. Because if you don't contain, then he's just gonna beat you in his legs.
yeah. And so, hey, you know what? 3-0. It took us till the middle of October last year to get to 3 wins. So I'll take it here at the end of September. And that's the biggest thing I got. So hey,
I think you're scary. I think honestly, I think the Packers are scary this year. I think they have a good chance of going all the way in the NFC.
Losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, probably.
I hope so.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. But
Hey,
either
but
way,
A-Rod versus Brady, that'd be a good Super
We've
Bowl,
all been
man.
waiting
Yeah.
for that, I think, right?
Right?
Yeah. That's what seems to be the problem. Is it feels like the Packers' first quarter, whatever they do to script plays, how you run scripted plays,
Right,
the first 20 plays or so, those always work beautifully. They're running the ball, they're doing screens, getting 20 yards. Rodgers is bombing it. They're getting all these things, and then once it hits the adjustment period, that's when things go to shit. So I don't know. Maybe LaFleur just has to get better at adjusting to the whatever's happening in the game, or Rodgers is doing it's just one of those things where I think they'll probably figure it out. Because, we put up 21 points in a quarter on Minnesota, so it's not like it's not possible. We've shown that we can score more points than the Jets have all season in one quarter. That's the big thing. So, hey, 3-0.
Not adjusting is a bad sign, though. That's a bad sign for the future.
He is a first-time head coach, though, so, he's probably learning a lot.
It could turn around for sure.
Yeah. Moving on, this is normally where I'd bring up the Buccaneers, but we'll save that in case Invicta does happen to pop in. Let's move on
Great
to
game there too, by the way.
yeah. Let's do the Chiefs Ravens, because that was the one.
Oh,
that was a game we were going to talk about a lot.
That man, that lived up to the hype too. That was pretty awesome. The finish, especially. I didn't catch a ton of it because again, the Patriots Jets was happening at the same time, but you could see that the Chiefs were up big. early on, and I didn't honestly think that the Ravens were going to make it competitive. But fucking Lamar Jackson, dude, like he kept going, and Mark Ingram had a huge game, fucking 3 TDs, over 100 yards on the ground. It's 6-yard average. Like
Jesus,
they just started going ham out of nowhere.
Well, I mean, look at their entire running backs roster here. 6.4 yards per carry for Mark Ingram. 7.6 yards per carry for Gus Edwards on 7 carries.
And fucking Lamar. Yeah. It's 6 per carry. That's insane. And a TD on the ground.
That's actually why I say like the Ravens are spooky if Lamar's awake, because that's what they can do. Because if you can't force them, like because usually if a team is very effective at running the ball, especially if they have a running quarterback, the smartest play is to just force them to pass. Yeah. But if he can do that too, you're fucked, dude. Like,
you do it as fast as he does.
Yeah, and with such speed. And honestly, like now he did have a bit of a regression week, right? Like this is sub 50% completion percentage. But he did turn it around by the second half, right?
Yeah.
That was the thing. It's like the first half, that's the other thing we have to talk about too. On top of this, is that was up against the Chiefs defense. That's also very good, and they were doing their job of completely containing him for the first half. But I guess they just couldn't keep it up the whole time.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah, it is definitely. Lamar Jackson, man, he is spooky for teams this year. He should be, because he could fuck your shit up, especially since this is his first year as a full starter. And we know, especially with players like him, where they have a very unique skill set, it usually takes teams at least one season to figure them out. Yeah. And they're playing a completely different game plan than what they ran last year after Flacco went down. You remember last year, right? Like they were only running. Yeah, they weren't even. There was a game where he threw like one pass or something.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the thing, is maybe they tried to force him to pass more, and I guess he didn't pass very well. So I feel like that is their Achilles heel. Yeah. At this point, is just trying to make him pass, because he's still not the greatest passing quarterback, even though he's shown he can do it now. He did it against like Miami, and like so,
it's still the best strategy to play against them.
Yeah.
You still if you let him force them to throw. You have to. It's the only way that you can win against that offense, right? Because they're just going to gouge you otherwise.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, I'm looking back at his early 2018. Yeah, he had 3 games where he only threw 1 pass. That's absurd.
Yeah. That's what I mean. They have a completely different game plan this year.
Yeah.
And right now, they're basically daring other teams. Yeah, stack the box. Please do. Please do stack the box. I will happily send Hollywood Brown on an out route and let Lamar bomb it to him.
Right.
Like so that's what they're saying to all the teams. And I'll tell you what, like I think the only reason that Kansas City won is because their offense is so fucking electric that, that the Ravens couldn't stop them. That's the only reason they won this game right now, I think.
Even Gus
Patrick
Edwards.
Mahomes is like slightly upgraded Lamar Jackson right now.
Basically, yeah. Like. So yeah,
even Gus Edwards had 53 yards on 7 carries. Like that's some
that's what we were saying. Yeah, the whole of their ground game was averaging like giant chunks every time they went for it.
Yeah, the minimum yards per carry for I suppose besides Justice Hill, who had 1 carry
it's
for
like
1
an anomaly.
Yeah, exactly. But everyone else, the lowest yards per carry was 5.8 average. That's already like exceptional for a running back. Like if your running back has over 5 yards per carry on the day, he had an excellent day.
And that was Lamar.
That was Lamar, yeah. Not bad for a running back.
The Chiefs 3-0 now too. And that's the thing, is like they had that 23-point quarter, and that was like where the chunk of their points came from. LaShawn McCoy, 54 yards and a touchdown, but I think he got hurt from what I read.
Oh, did he? I didn't see that.
Yeah, I heard
that. But yeah, Chiefs are going to be scary. It's going to be another team to look at. Honestly, the Chiefs-Ravens could probably be another playoff matchup.
Oh, yeah, I'm expecting that.
Yeah, and that would be great. I'd watch that in a heart.
I think the Ravens might win this division this year.
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
I definitely would say they will.
I still believe the Browns can turn it around, guys.
Go Brownies. I mean, they didn't do it so great this week, unfortunately.
So I will give them that their entire secondary was like injured.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help much. But Baker Mayfield.
He's sort of not that great.
Hitting the sophomore slump,
Definitely
dude.
slumping. Yeah, this is a sophomore slump, it looks like.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where last year everyone's like, what is this kid? And he's like gunslinging it. Like, yeah, and now we've hit that point where teams kind of know what he's going to do, so they're planning around it. And I think he's got to learn to overcome that.
He's like what we were just talking about with Lamar. Like he had the mold year, and now everyone's like, oh, this is what he does. Okay.
They figured him out in a year. And usually what happens is like, and now this isn't like, you know, a guaranteed purity test, but even if Baker does poorly this year, that's why I always say wait till 3 years for a QB, because usually what happens here is in a sophomore slump, if he's a good QB, then he'll have it worked out by season 3 and he'll be back to form.
Yeah.
If he's a bad one, then he'll slump again in season 3. But again, it's still only week 3. Even though it looks like he's slumping right now, it doesn't mean that he will for the rest of the year. So Browns fans, don't, it's not dire yet. It's still only 1 and 2.
There's also the Rams. So
Yeah, it's the Rams.
Yeah.
They were in the Super Bowl last year. I mean,
yeah.
it's a reasonable loss.
Yeah.
It is. And Rams, I mean, Todd Gurley didn't do that great. He only had 43 yards on 14 carries. Jared Goff, 2 interceptions, 24 of 38, 2 touchdowns. Like, that's not the greatest. So, I mean, they did give him a good battle. And I don't know if that means the Rams aren't as good or if the Browns are just better than their record. But I think it might be a little of both.
End of the day, it's a 1-score game.
Yeah. And they didn't throw it to Odell in the end zone.
Which I was really disappointed with.
Yeah. Everyone was
Having
just
him
like,
on my fantasy team.
I wonder why. Yeah.
hey, Freddie Kitchens, what are you doing?
Yeah. Well, again, I don't know. I haven't been watching the Browns terribly closely, so I don't know if their game plan is still incredibly different. But again, every time I keep looking back, it does not seem like they're doing what they were doing last year, which is giving Baker the plays that he was using in college. Give him the plays, give him short passing, give him quick passing, because his strength is that he's accurate as hell, right?
Yeah.
Like he can fit it into those tight windows. And he's quick with both decision making and with his release. So I feel like in that scenario, your best option is to go with the quick passing. Now, I understand you got OBJ. You just got OBJ. You got Jarvis Landry. You're hoping what's going to happen is OBJ is going to get the double coverage, and that's going to free up Jarvis Landry to go deep on bombs and stuff or whatever. But if that's not working, you can't force yourself to commit to that. You could go with the quick passing route,
Yeah. So that's Browns. Maybe they'll get better. Next week they play the Ravens, though. So but here's a fun game we had: the Jaguars beating the Titans 20-7 on Thursday night.
Every year, man. The Titans. Every year.
I'm telling you, dude. They look good one week, and the next week they're just awful, and I don't know what it is. It's like flip a coin.
They're the pendulum team.
Yeah. Jaguars, Gardner Minshew the second, 20 of 30, 204 yards, 2 TDs.
Dude, this guy's a G.
He really is.
Like, he's just legit, I think.
I think so. And DJ Chark, 76 yards and a TD. Like, he's starting to become a real wide receiver. Like, they got the actual 1-2 punch right now.
Like, what was holding the Jags back the first couple weeks?
Why
couldn't they do this before? Like,
they almost beat the Texans.
I know, yeah, but like the Titans are the pendulum team. I know, so maybe they just fought the evil bad version of the Titans this week. But like,
it's true.
I don't know.
Well, remember this week the Big Dick Nick went down, and so like they weren't certain, and then Gardner Minshew came out and was like, "Oh, he's pretty good actually," and then he's continued to show that. So. I don't know. I think this could be because remember they still have a pretty damn good defense, so this could be a potential
turnaround moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, here's another big factor: Calais Campbell 3 sacks, Josh Allen 2 sacks, Dwayne Smoot 2 sacks, Taven Bryan a sack, Leon Jacobs half a sack, Marcel Darius half a sack.
That's a lot of sacks.
it's a lot of sacks. And Marcus Mariota is now the most sacked quarterback in the NFL.
Oh my God! He's been in the league for 6 years, hasn't he? What the fuck?
Yeah. He's so after that game, he's now been sacked 17 times.
Not even. This is his 5th season. Oh my God!
Hold on. He's got 17 times like in his life or
Like
in his career?
this season.
17 times this season?
Yeah, he's been sacked 17 times over 3 games.
3 games?
That's horrible.
That's
Would you like to take a guess?
That's per game on
Did
average.
you hear him? He rattled off 9 during the
9 in
last
the Jaguars
game. 9
game.
sacks in that Thursday night match.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Kyler Murray second at 16.
Oh, Jesus, dude. These kids are getting murdered.
Yeah. But the third is 12 sacks. Would you like to take a guess at who that is?
Jacoby Brissett.
Deshaun Watson.
Oh.
Which he's, normally he's number 1. He's down to number 3 now. He's making progress up there.
So, neutral devil's advocate position here.
Yep.
I will say, the 3 QBs that you listed are also 3 mobile QBs that run around a lot. So, I mean, that those are correlated things. That doesn't mean that they're
I will say fourth is Andy Dalton, Joe Flacco, and Baker Mayfield at 11.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers and Winston at 10, and Trubisky and Wilson at 8.
Yeah. I will say that I think it's just because they're just letting this man get destroyed.
Yeah.
I think Brady's been sacked twice.
That's, yeah. Well, he hasn't really played like an opponent yet.
Yeah, that's fair.
Then Derrick Henry had 44 yards. Mariota ran 34 yards. Like, honestly, the Titans really just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that was that
Moving
Thursday
on.
night game.
Yeah.
Then we had the Cowboys and the Dolphins, 31-6 Cowboys. That
I
happened.
can't believe how long it took the Cowboys to figure out how the fuck to beat the Dolphins.
Yeah, it was 10-6 at halftime. Like, what are you doing over there,
I
Cowboys?
forgot that was close for a bit, wasn't it?
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Josh Rosen had played in the game. And
Good way to describe it, yeah.
yep. That was pretty much the highlight of their offense.
I still feel so fucking bad for that guy.
Yeah. Bills beat the Bengals 21-17.
Bill's starting to look legit, man.
Yeah.
I thought the Bengals were going to win this game, and then they just didn't. So, well, there you go. They're 0-3. Good
Classic
work.
Bengals. Dawson Knox was the number 1 Bills receiver. Don't know who that is, but maybe we will learn of his name soon.
The whole Bills roster is going to have to be introduced to me, besides Frank Gore, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, you get to play him this week, so you'll learn all about him.
Yeah, exactly.
Tre'Davious White, 2 interceptions. Look at that. I know Tre'Davious White.
Okay.
And on the other side, Joe Mixon, 61 yards, 15 carries. Dalton, 1 TD, 2 picks. And Auden Tate was their leading receiver. Sure.
Is this, what do you guys think? Is this Dalton's last year on the Bengals?
Yes.
Like, is this his contract year?
I don't know, actually. I'll look it up.
Because
That's a good question.
He's Andy Dalton. So why not just keep being Andy Dalton? I know, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, the expectation is nothing. So if you're happy with that as a grown man, take another extension and just keep playing for the Bengals. Because what are they going to do?
Andy Dalton's he's not bad. He's not bad.
No, he's not. He's the standard. He is the average, the Dalton line. You know, that's the thing.
He's only 31. He's still got some years in him.
Take a 4-year deal, a few mil, do it.
Well,
I'd
so
say.
to the question of, is it his contract year? Technically not this year. He has 1 more year on his contract, which is next year. So yeah, I mean, this is basically around the time that that they will be thinking about this.
I don't think he's done. I think he'll keep playing for a
You
little
think so?
while.
I don't know if you want to, like,
Depends if they want to rebuild.
I've always, you guys know on this podcast, I am the defender of middling QBs.
You are.
And I think Dalton hits that mark beautifully. Like, I think he's decent. Sometimes he can be very good, which is great. And you could totally win the Super Bowl with an Andy Dalton. But at this point, I think you can win with a bad or average quarterback in the Super Bowl. It's happened before.
Yeah, I mean it has happened.
So
but he can hardly win a playoff game. That's why I say
that's sort of the thing, right? Like I think at this point, like you don't have that much else, right? Like who else do you have on your team? You got AJ.
That's the other thing is like the Bengals would have, if they could have done better by now, they would have.
Yeah. So like I think at this point, you kind of got to start looking. And Andy Dalton will be a top flight free agent, and he totally should be, because he, like I said, I think he's totally like right around average.
Yeah.
And that's great. That'll be great as a backup. That would be great as a starter in many places. But I think this might be the last year.
He's got that hair that, like, if he played for anyone besides the Bengals, it would be weird, don't you think?
True,
like, he fits them so well.
He could play for the Browns. You could get him on the Browns.
I
guess, maybe.
Yeah. The thing is, the Bengals don't even look that bad. Like, they're bad, but they're not like bad. Like they almost beat the Seahawks. They played the Bills close. They got shit on by the 49ers, but
they'll probably go 7-9.
Maybe.
Yeah, they're solid, like 6-10, 7-9. So that was that game. Lions beating the Eagles.
Yeah.
Lions are now 2-0-1.
Technically undefeated.
Yeah, technically.
And the Eagles are now 1-2.
They sure are. And I think they're very injured as well. I know Alshon Jeffrey was out. Deshaun Jackson was out. Apparently Ronald Darby's out now, but he's kind of like not good, so people don't care. And they don't look the same. Carson Wentz, 1936, 2 TDs. Like it feels like this is the Carson Wentz thing. He does okay, and it's like 2 touchdowns, 259 yards, but it's never enough.
Dude, did you guys see the thing over the weekend? I
yes.
linked it. Yeah.
With the
Unlike Aguilar.
Like, unlike Aguilar.
It's so good. So in case anyone at home didn't see it, over the weekend there was a fire in Philadelphia, and this guy apparently he stood at the base level, and somebody was tossing babies out the window, and he was catching them. And he was like, so he was explaining this to the news anchor, and he was like, yeah, so he was tossing the babies, and I was catching them, unlike Aguilar. And then this is all while a house is on fire in the background of the frame. Like, just Philly is the most savage sports city ever, and it's the greatest. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But outside of that, it's the Lions are in second place right now. Believe it or not.
They're up there, dude. Yeah, I mean, I still don't believe in them at all.
I don't either.
They're winning games, so kudos to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stafford had a touchdown, 200 yards. They had barely. Oh my God, their running game was awful. They had J.D. McKissick with 1 run for 44 yards, and outside of that, they had Kerryon Johnson, 36 yards on 20 carries and a touchdown.
2-yard average, 1.8 actually.
Not even. And then Ty
That's
Johnson,
bad.
4 carries, 5 yards. So that's not good.
So it sounds like the Achilles heel of the Lions is still the Achilles heel of the Lions. They still can't run the ball.
Yeah.
And this is classic Lions. They're giving everybody false hope, and it's just not going to last.
Dude, this is.
And if it does,
like, as a Lions fan, you got to feel a little bit like, this is nice, I guess.
I keep seeing Dan Geasley on Twitter.
Oh, no, he
like,
doesn't
These
feel
are
like
some
that.
players, guys. We got some players. And I'm like, I don't.
You got one. You definitely got one guy.
You definitely got a guy.
If you're a Lions fan, I got to say, I understand the winning sucks. I feel you. I mean, not the winning. the losing sucks.
We won. This sucks.
Yeah. I feel you. Believe me, I've had that too. But at least you guys have a QB that's fun to watch. You got that going for you. So silver lining all the rest of these years. And if you're winning this year, then maybe Matt Stafford is finally not wasted.
They're not that far removed from 0-16, man, and like that stain it lasts for a while, and I don't feel like this team is good enough to be in consideration for at least like around the 2-0-1 group. You know, like the other people in that category are far superior in my mind right now.
Like taking a look at their schedule, they play the Chiefs, the Packers, the Vikings, so. That could be 3 losses lined up.
Yeah, this will be a big month for them. This is going to be a prove-it month right now.
Yeah, very much so.
But if they make it past that, they have the Giants, the Raiders, the Bears, Cowboys, the Redskins.
Bears again.
Bears, Vikings, Buccaneers, Broncos. So, I mean, they could probably go 8. They're like 8-8, 9-7. I feel like if
that team doesn't get 8 wins, that's a disappointment.
Yeah, I could see them getting that, but we'll see. I don't know. I don't believe in the Lions, especially having seen them every year and having them in the division.
They got an uphill battle from the beginning of every season, man. To be honest with you.
And on top of that, we're probably the strongest division right now. Like all of our teams have at least 2 wins.
I don't think. Does that division have any losses at all?
The Bears lost to the Packers and the Vikings lost to the Packers. So their only losses are divisional losses.
Yeah, that's actually pretty telling too.
Yeah. That's a very strong division right now.
Got to agree with you, yeah.
Which I found funny because Mike Florio, the NFL writer who's a Vikings fan, was there to bring up the Packers, and the one dude was like, "Oh yeah, the Packers, like they're looking really good," and he's like, "I don't know, they have a favorable schedule," and I'm like, "Favorable schedule? We just played 2 of the best division opponents we have that are both like playoff / Super Bowl contenders," and you're like, "Yeah, favorable schedule." Fuck you, Mike Florio. He's just a salty.
You, Florio. Fuck you, Mike Florio, and Rich.
He's just like, "Yeah, I'm not biased. I'm just a Vikings fan." But anyway. Moving on. The Colts.
Fuck you, Mike. I'm sorry. I get so heated about it.
The Colts beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
Colts 2-1. Dude, I was telling you, Colts, look out. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Jacoby
Brissett. 28 of 37, 310 yards and 2 TDs, 0 picks.
I love this dude, man.
Yeah.
He did so great in the role that we had him in for one game during Brady's suspension, I believe it was. And he looked real solid. And when we traded him, I was like, "Go, Brisket! You got this shit. Back up that luck." And then look at him go. He's ready for it, man. He was ready that day. He's ready now.
Now that this is his team, man, like he is killing it, and I love it. I love to see it.
Yeah, it's Marlon Mack still running well, 74 yards, 16 carries, 4.6 yard average, and a touchdown. T.Y. Hilton, 65 yards and a touchdown. Zach Pascal, 53 yards and a touchdown. Ebron, some yards. Doyle, some yards. They got like a good set of tight ends and running backs and spreading it out.
That's a rhythmic name, by the way. Zach Pascal.
Zach Pascal.
Zach Pascal. Yeah, that's just fun to say.
It is. Their defense is seems like they're good enough to get the job done. On the other side, the Falcons don't look good. And they're injured. Keanu Neal gone for the season again.
They still have the Ryan Jones connection, and that's pretty good still. Julio Jones is still very, very good, and Matt Ryan went 29 for 34, so he's still gunning it. But
every Falcons loss I see, Matt Ryan, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Like,
he just gets them too late, dude. Like they were down like 20-3.
I'm telling you right now, the Falcons remind me of like the old Packer teams where we would just lose like 40-37 because we just try to outgun, and their defense is just so bad they can't keep up. Men, and looking at this, most passes completed in the NFL, Matt Ryan at 89. Most interceptions, Matt Ryan at 6. It's just when you're throwing that much, like
you have to. Yeah, he's got I mean, that Matt Stafford has been wasted as a QB. Matt Ryan has been wasted as a QB.
Yeah. Hey, he almost got that Super Bowl.
Yeah, he sure had his chance, didn't he?
He did have a shot at least. Yeah.
He did.
Although, in fairness to Matt, he's not the reason they lost.
Yeah.
Bad play calling is the reason they lost.
It sure is.
Dude, I gotta mention, since I made the same point with the Redskins here, the Falcons don't have a bad back in Devontae Freeman. He's actually decent.
No, he's pretty good.
Yeah.
He's getting the same. He's getting the AP treatment, dude. This guy, like, I don't know. I don't think the situation is all that dissimilar either, because they're in games that are competitive early on, but they're still having Matt Ryan throw it 40 to 45 times a game and giving Freeman 10 carries. Like, why?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Well, they're in a like wide open NFC South too. Like all the injuries, Drew Brees is out, Cam Newton's out. Like
Tampa Bay is a question mark every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring up the Panthers Cardinals. Kyle Allen, 19 of 26, 261 yards, 4 touchdowns.
I loved, actually, I don't know if you guys saw it, but someone made a tweet saying, I can't believe this kid was Kyle Allen. And it was the old Cam Newton commercial where he's talking to the kid that's like winding up his arm, like, gonna beat you one day, Cam. And that was probably like 5 years ago, but it's almost, the timing's almost there.
Yeah. I mean, he looked pretty good. Now, here's the other thing. One of the reasons he looked good, Christian McCaffrey, 24 carries, 153 yards, and a touchdown.
Jesus.
Christian McCaffrey. I didn't even know this kid. Before he was auto-drafted onto my fantasy team and he became my favorite NFL player of the last 2 years, I didn't even know he existed. And now I'm beginning to realize, holy shit, this is like the best running back in the NFL right now.
Yeah,
dude.
He's the perfect like Swiss Army knife running back.
Bear, by the way, I had the almost exactly the same experience 2 years ago, my first fantasy football with this crew, because I had the same situation. Like I had to pick somebody and like I was like Christian McCaffrey, sure, whatever. Yeah, he's on the Panthers, right? He's pretty good, I heard. And then every week he's like destroying like everyone with
25 points a game minimum.
Yeah.
Dude, this kid is ridiculous.
Because Christian McCaffrey is just their whole fucking offense.
He really is.
Runs it for them. Like he's their bell cow back. He's like their leading receiver half the time. He's split out on jet sweeps. He's just their offense is him.
Yeah.
So
that's why it's pretty much what they've been doing this season, except now Kyle Allen was able to like complete a couple passes, and that like changed their offense.
But like
Cam Newton was inaccurate.
It might be, I mean, like maybe he's just that much better, or they've just got like a better offensive line, the whole package. It could be, it turns out, but this is the kind of volume that you're looking for, especially when you're up in a game like the Panthers were in this situation. They were probably up like 10 or 15. They have this kid carry it 25 times, and that's how you fucking win. Because like, I mean, again, it's probably the consideration that he's just able to do it, but like presumably. Give him the ball more, probably going to happen a little bit more often, that he gets the big yardage breakout.
Dude, holy shit. By the way, you want to know something fucking crazy?
Sure.
Because I just relayed to you a story where 3 years ago, Christian McCaffrey, like, you know, saved my fantasy football.
Yeah.
He's fucking 23.
Yeah.
Today, right now. He's 23
this is
years
birthday?
old. No, well, no, I mean, but what I mean is that like today he's 23 years old. Like that's crazy.
That is pretty crazy, actually. I didn't realize.
I thought he was like maybe I assumed that he was like, well, he's got to be like 25, 26 now, right?
Yeah. He's still got a lot of years in him.
Yeah.
He's like the age I was when I started doing Let's Play videos on YouTube, you know?
Yeah.
For real. And he's already been playing in the NFL for 3 years.
Yeah. That is not even. He's like the best running back in the league right now.
On the other side, Kyler Murray, 173 yards, 2 TDs, 2 ints. 173 yards doesn't seem like a lot when you go 30 for 43.
Yeah, that's a low average.
That's like, let's see, 173 divided by 43 is 4 yards per attempt. It's bad.
That's pretty bad. So it's just, I guess it's just checking it down or something. Kyler Murray also had 69 rushing yards on 8 attempts.
Nice.
David Johnson, 37 on 11.
Nice.
Christian Kirk, 59 yards. Larry Fitzgerald, 36 yards and a TD. David Johnson, 28 yards and a TD. So, I mean, Cardinals are still, like, they're still pretty, like, Chandler Jones, 2 sacks. I feel like they're just they're just getting kind of unlucky here fighting these teams, but they're still like a growing team. They're like a promising young team. You know what I mean? They're not like the Dolphins.
Next year, definitely. Because here's the thing. I think what we're seeing right now is these games are close because of one guy on that field right now, and that's Kyler Murray. And I think that what that means is that even if they don't do anything at all this year, like even if they don't even win a single fucking game, like next year, I think they're gonna end up being spooky. Because right now, Kyler Murray's just putting the team on his back and winning, and well, not winning, but he's like getting them close to winning these games. Like that's the kind of thing that you want to see. That's extremely promising. Like if I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan right now, I'm not even that sad about the losses. Like I feel pretty happy that, you know what, we probably made the right decision picking this guy up.
Future's bright.
Future's bright. Moving on, we had the Raiders at the Vikings, and the Vikings destroyed them. They were up 28-7 in the third quarter. Derek Carr didn't do too bad. He had 27, 34, 242 yards, 2 TDs, and a pick. Their run game got shut down, kind of 44 yards, 10 carries. Darren Waller got 134 yards on 13 catches. Oh, my God. And their defense didn't do anything. Now, flip side, Kirk Cousins, 15 of 21, 174 yards and a TD.
Yep.
The thing, okay, so Dalvin Cook, 110 yards, 16 carries and a touchdown, almost 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, it's actually 6.9 yards per carry.
Nice.
Nice.
And then this is the thing I've pretty much brought up every week so far. The Vikings are legit. We're going to run with Dalvin Cook, and once you stop Dalvin Cook, that's our offense is dead. Because Kirk Cousins, 21 passes, right? Here's the 21 passes, they win. Going back to week 1, the Vikings played against the Falcons.
Oh,
Kirk Cousins.
I love those.
Yeah, great
Kirk
team.
Cousins, 10 passes, 8 of 10. Week 2, the Vikings played against the Packers. Kirk Cousins, 32 passes. Lost.
Yeah.
When you make Kirk Cousins throw, he is not good. And the Vikings offense starts to break down because then Kirk Cousins does the old, off the back foot fade away into the end zone and you throw away the game, literally.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the big thing. The problem is the Vikings do have a good defense and a good running game, so it's hard to shut it down. But if you have the ability to shut it down, then that's their weak point.
It's kind of funny. Kirk and Kyler had almost the exact same amount of yards, and Kirk threw it half as much as Kyler did.
Yeah. Yeah. So like the thing is that like that's kind of how the Vikings have been built for the past 3 years. It's just that they forgot last year, and
well, Cook was injured last year too.
Right. Yeah, but I mean they also just had like no running game in general. Like once Cook was down.
Yeah.
So like that has been the case. That was the case under Case Keenum when they went to the playoffs 2 years ago, and I think that's the case now with Kirk Cousins to a degree. Although again, I still think Kirk Cousins is a better quarterback than Case Keenum.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
it's going to be interesting this week because they play the Bears, and the Bears can shut down the run. So it's going to be who wins that battle. I think it's going to be who wins that game.
Kirk is probably going to throw a lot of picks.
Probably, yeah. Then we had the Saints Seahawks, which the Saints won.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Teddy Bridgewater, man.
Teddy Bridgewater, 1927, 177 yards, 2 TDs. Alvin Kamara, 69 yards and a touchdown. Well, I would say Alvin Kamara because he had 69 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown. He also had 92 receiving yards on 9 catches and a touchdown. So he kind of was their Christian McCaffrey.
He played the Christian McCaffrey role, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know. Did you guys watch any of that game?
I did not.
No, I did not. Yeah, that's why I'm saying, what the fuck? What happened?
Yes, if you watch it, by the way, like it's not just the stats that show that, it was the game too. Like he very much was that Christian McCaffrey role where it was just like, oh, and this is to Kamara. Oh, he's throwing it downfield to Kamara, and he's look, it's Kamara. It's like it was all Alvin Kamara all day.
And running out of the sidelines, that's Kamara. Oh, look, it's Kamara's brother Kamara throwing to Kamara.
They're actually planning on renaming the team. Wait, hold on.
I will also say the Seahawks scored 20 points in the fourth quarter, so a lot of their points just came in garbage time too.
Yeah, so the Saints were dominating.
Yeah.
The Saints are renaming to the New Orleans. Shit, I forgot the joke. Never mind.
Come on!
All right, interesting.
I applaud the effort at least.
You know, yeah,
The Marcus Davenport here's the thing. Marcus Davenport on the Saints doesn't feel like he does a lot, and we got their first rounder, and we turned that into Darnell Savage, and I like Darnell Savage a lot more than I like Marcus Davenport. And he's got a cooler name, although Davenport is a cool name too. That's what I forgot to mention. Rashawn Gary, our other first-round pick, had a sack, and I'm very happy with that.
We're done with
I gotta forget it's just Rashawn Gary because I was like, I don't know if I like this pick. It's actually a really good pick for our situation because he got a sack now. He's starting to get it together, and he's learning behind the Smiths, which is like the perfect scenario for him, who are like, hey, here's two elite edge rushers that he can learn behind and like take his time. So it's really nice having that. So then we can have 3 elite pass rushers, and then we'll destroy everyone.
3 elite pass.
3.
It's a 3 elite pass rush.
But bringing up the Seahawks, Russell Wilson threw the ball 50 times. 50
Putting
times.
the team on his back.
He really did, because he threw for 400 yards and 2 touchdowns.
To go unblemished with 50 attempts is pretty impressive, honestly.
I mean,
I would say the problem with the Seahawks is their lines. I feel like their lines, like the offensive line is just bad, and the defensive line, I feel like, has gotten worse. Like, they still have the linebackers, Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright, but they lost their safeties because, what's his name retired, and then Earl went to the Ravens. But I feel like the Seahawks just aren't as good. Like, they almost lost to the Bengals. Now they lost to the Drew Breesless Saints. Like,
yeah, we all were shocked, I'm sure, by this. I think we all picked the Seahawks to win this.
Yeah, we did. So
it's weird, like over the years, and I don't want to like unfairly profile here the Seahawks, but like it seems to me a lot of the time that the Seahawks' general strategy is hand Russell Wilson the ball and it really does
go. Yeah. Go, Russell, run.
Russell, run away from our turnstile offensive line.
To me, he is really their team right now.
Yeah, he's still just carrying the team just 100%. Like, it feels like Andrew Luck from a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
like,
it does.
Just, he has to put the team on his back like every game. Like, look at
who's that tackling Wilson out in the open field? Oh my goodness! Out on the defense for the Saints, it's Alvin Kamara.
It's Alvin Kamara. The other thing, by the way, is it's 33-27, but they scored all 20 of 20 of their 27
was like in the garbage time for the most
part.
Yeah,
and in fact, the last play of the game was Russell Wilson throwing a touchdown pass. So
yeah.
So
fantasy.
Yeah. I'd say it's not looking too good for the Seahawks right about now.
Their division
especially
tough
because
too, man.
It is. You got the Rams. You have the 49ers
who
now
just
3-0,
beat the Steelers,
who are now 0-3, 24-20. It's kind of a weird game. Like, looking at everything, like, it was 6-3 Pittsburgh at halftime.
Yeah,
and then the Steelers got 14 points second half. 49ers got 21. The biggest issue for the 49ers was, I believe, they turned the ball over like 5 times.
Oh, yeah.
So 5 turnovers and you still win is pretty good.
You'll be happy about that. Jimmy G is the truth, dude. Like, he's gonna be able to lead that team.
Well, he had
a couple picks today, I know, but I know I'm saying in general, man. Like, he's a leader. He's gonna be able to take this squad the distance. I think
he can definitely take him to the playoffs. I think. I don't know if he can take him to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said the distance. That's not a very appropriate. Stay the distance being relative to the 49ers' relative or recent success. So
I'm still like I know they're 3-0, but I am still on jury is out on Jimmy G. Like honestly, I still kind of have better feelings for Jacoby Brissett than I do Jimmy G.
I will say that they haven't beaten good competition. They beat the Buccaneers, the Bengals, and now the Steelers.
The Roethlisberger-less Steelers.
Yeah. Like that's I think that's what the teams they played against have won 2 games total, I think.
Dude, there's a joke about the Steelers being like the impossible version now that they're burgerless.
Yeah.
I can
There's
see the
something
lines
there.
in
Like
my
put
head, yeah.
put it together yourself, I guess.
I can get there, yeah.
They so I think that's the biggest thing the 49ers had was just so many turnovers. And then the Steelers 174 yards, 2 TDs, and a pick for Rudolph, who has 14 of 27. It's not terrible for like his first
Pretty good. Yeah.
first game, or I think it was his first start, right?
Yeah,
I think
first
so,
start.
yeah.
And then James Conner, 43 yards, 13 carries. Juju at 81 yards and a touchdown. That's kind of all they got. It's like their defense can get turnovers, and then they got Juju and James Conner sometimes.
Yeah, it's 6.5 yards per attempt for Mason Rudolph, 174 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick. I think that's a pretty good first showing. 6.5 yards is like per attempt is right around like average level, and it's his first start. So
I think the Steelers are hitting that point of like they're in that weird kind of do we want to rebuild or do we want to keep trying? And it's like
After that game, you kind of get a clearer picture, maybe.
yeah, it might be time for the steel curtain to come down and get rebuilt.
But that's a long tenure, dude. The Steelers have been strong for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, up until was it last? I don't think they didn't. Did they have a losing record last year, or was it 8-8 again?
I think they played against somebody to try and make the playoffs. It might have been the Ravens. I think they were fighting the Ravens to get into the playoffs, and they lost because Antonio Brown didn't want to play.
So I want to bring up a stat. If they have a losing season this year, that's going to be Tomlin's first losing season.
Wow.
Yeah.
They have not had a losing season. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Tomlin has never had. He's had. I think 2 8-8 seasons, but
it looks like it.
He's never had a losing season. So
Wow.
right now, it's looking like this might actually be Tomlin's first.
Damn.
The Steelers themselves haven't had a losing season since 2003.
Yeah, well, that's the
Wow,
other thing,
that's-
right?
yeah.
Is that the Steelers don't really change coaches. They've had 3 in the entire history of their franchise. Like Tomlin's been their guy for this whole time. For like what? He's one of the longest tenured coaches now, like over 10 years, I think. And he hasn't lost a season. Like he hasn't had a losing season that entire time.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a few more than 3, to be fair.
Has it, what? More than 3?
I'm looking at head coaches over the course of the franchise.
Yeah.
There's been a dozen or so, but yeah.
Has there been a dozen? Really?
I mean, going all the way back to like the 30s, you can
Since-
see
Oh,
how
well,
much,
yeah.
but
But
going back to 69, I guess it would be
Super
Knoll,
Bowl era.
and then Cower, and then Tomlin.
yeah,
three
so
guys
for
in the
like
Super Bowl
50
era.
years, basically, it's been the same 3
Which
guys.
is crazy. You know,
That is
no
crazy.
team does that. And this guy has never had a losing season. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I totally get why they stick with that man. I mean, obviously, but that's going to be big.
The last time they had a losing season in 2003, it was Bill Cower, Tommy Maddox, and Jerome Bettis.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
dude,
boy.
the bus. Let's go.
The
Was
bus,
that
dude.
was that Cower's last season, by the way?
No, he actually got him to 15-1 the next year. Then 2005, they won the Super Bowl, and then 8-8, and then he stopped.
Okay.
That's when Tomlin took
So
over.
yeah, he had a few Roethlisberger years, and they won the Super Bowl. So not bad. So it might be that time where for the Steelers, but you never know. Then we had the Texans Chargers 27-20 Texans.
Deshaun Watson is still quite good. Turns
He
out
is very good. Yes,
he's
Sean
only
Watson's the
24.
truth.
as long as he's not getting sacked, he's pretty good.
I know the only one who's really been dissenter is Invicta, but I'll still gloat
Yeah.
anyway. I've been telling y'all, this man's the truth. John Watson don't fuck around. Guy's good.
Yep. Well, Sinvicta also hates the Texans, I believe. So he's a little
That's
biased on
fair.
it.
Yeah.
Same with
Rivers,
Drew
the
Brees and the
ageless
Saints.
wonder, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Keep
31-46, 318 yards, 2 TDs.
I was watching the last bit of this game. I love still like people make fun of Rivers for this, but I love how fucking passionate and fiery mad he still gets. Like at the end of this game, they're trying to get set, and he is screaming at a ref at the top of his lungs. You gotta get the fucking ball down. You gotta go. It's Phillip Rivers though, so he's you gotta get the freaking ball down right now.
Get that gosh darn ball down right now.
I swear to God, I'll have 3 more kids before this quarter is over if you don't get that ball down.
Swear to gosh, actually swear to gosh.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
swear to gosh.
Swear to gosh.
The Texans also didn't have a running game. 19 yards, 10 carries for Carlos Hyde. And that was their leading rusher, 19 yards.
What is fucking going on? It's the whole league. No one can run anymore. Look at the Chargers too. They had 9 carries for 36 yards for Austin Eckler. Like what the fuck?
Just wait till they play the Vikings.
Like I think it really is starting to turn around on running backs in the NFL. Because remember, like for like the past like 10-ish years, running backs have gone down and down and down and down in value, and most teams started going to running back by committee. But the past couple of years, we've seen guys like Todd Gurley, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott explode onto the scene. And on top of that, it does seem to be that the running back by committee thing, in many cases, doesn't seem to be working as effectively as it used to. It seems like it's gone back to that old way of like, maybe you need a bell cow back.
Well, it's
Winston is like the mold for this right now with Hyde, and I don't even remember who the fucking other guy is that they're supposed to be sharing the load with, but like they're supposed to be like a 50-50 split, and it's just what are they getting out of it? Like they won this game, but like that was Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson won this game.
Well, I will say that it kind of varies. Like it's either you have the star running back, or you have the committee, and sometimes the committee works. Like if you look at a team like Buffalo, they had Frank Gore running a lot, and then usually they put in their other rookie guy we were talking about last week. Was it Singletary? Yeah, and he would get big yards. And then the Broncos had Phillip Lindsay and Royce Freeman doing pretty well for both of them. The Ravens, even with Mark Ingram and Gus Edwards. So, I mean, you can do it. The Packers kind of have it. They have Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams. But
the Bills did it, I think, even for a little while not too long ago with I don't remember who it was. They did it, though. Oh, Fred Johnson and someone else.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's a very case-by-case thing. I guess it's better in the long run when you get into the end of the season and you got 2 guys that aren't as beat up as they could be as the star dudes.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? With the running back by committee is that it in theory it should be overall better because you see what happens when the Cowboys lose Zeke.
Yeah,
their offense goes away. Or the Vikings last year, what's his face went down. And that's the sort of the Achilles heel of the bell cow back strategy, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. No, I don't know. I think it seems like right now maybe RBBC is getting phased out a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely still working in many places. A lot of teams are still using running back by committee.
Yeah. Well, the final game, which I was saving for Sinvicta, but he has not showed up. He did say in our thing he got no sleep and didn't set the alarm, so maybe he fell back asleep. I don't know, but the Giants Buccaneers.
Daniel Jones.
Dude.
Daniel Dimes, dog.
Hell yeah, brother. What did I fucking say?
He put the team on his back, dude. Even Saquon had 8 carries, 10 yards. Daniel Jones was like, I can do that. 4 carries, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Daniel Jones check out these thighs.
He also threw for 336 and 2 touchdowns. And not a bad first game.
To be fair, the Buccaneers totally should have won this. Like
They should have.
100% should have won
Yes.
this game.
Yes,
They-
At the very last moment, had the field goal set up and missed, but even so, should have won this game beyond that. Like,
Yeah.
oh man.
Although I will say, now it was miraculous, and the Bucks probably should have won it because Jameis came back and he got them in range.
He lit it up. He went off for almost 400. That was
He
an
did.
insane
He did a great
performance.
job. That's totally true. However, we should also mention that like Daniel Jones literally just did that the drive before to get them to win that game.
Yeah.
So like that's the thing, right? Is that Daniel Jones led a fourth quarter comeback in his first start as on the New York Giants, and it wasn't even like he led a fourth quarter comeback by making a couple of passes and the team runs the ball, because I'll still count those as fourth quarter comebacks for QBs even if they're not scoring. This motherfucker threw a fucking TD. This dude he's scored 2 on the ground and 2 through the air, 336 yards, 23 completions on 36 attempts. This guy had a fucking breakout day.
There was some crazy stat post that I thought you were about to bring it up, but the fact that he led a fourth quarter comeback in his first start, I think Eli Manning in those same circumstances was something like 0-40.
Oh my God.
Which was startling, but also very telling of just what they've been experiencing over in New York for the last little while.
Like Eli Manning is the perfect like early 2000s, our quarterback's good enough to just get it done and the defense carries us.
Somehow beats fucking Tom Brady and the perfect Patriots for one goddamn game for no reason.
Now, I know it's still like the jury is definitely out on Daniel Jones for sure. He's only played one game. I know that's true. But I remember watching the takes on Twitter and NFL over the off season, being like, "Oh, and the Giants think Daniel Jones was stupid idiots. They took the guy at second, and
Daniel Jones."
I remember, oh man, that whole off season, I was like, "You motherfuckers! I think you're all wrong, you dumb motherfuckers." He was my number 2.
As good as the Daniel Jones play was, and with 4 touchdowns, doing all the things, the Buccaneers still should have won the game.
Absolutely.
Like Evans,
totally.
crazy catch, 190 yards, 3 touchdowns. He makes this big catch to get them an easy field goal. I believe they took a 5-yard penalty for some reason because they're the Buccaneers.
And Jameis after the game was like, didn't matter. And everyone was like, but it did matter. And he was like, nah, it didn't matter.
Well, to be fair, it definitely mattered.
Yeah.
But if you had a good kicker, it probably shouldn't have mattered. So the Buccaneers in classic fashion, the Saints did this in week 1, coming back, kicking the field goal. Bears did it week 2, coming back, kicking the field goal. Buccaneers coming back and missing the field goal to win the game.
Name a more iconic duo, Buccaneers and missing field goals.
Vikings missing playoff field
I
goals.
was just going to say Vikings and missing field goals, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Vikings.
Sorry. They're like the playoff version of the Buccaneers.
Yeah, but it just hurts more when it happens to them.
Yeah. Hey, I love hating on the Vikings. It's fun.
Yeah.
So that was that game. Hold on. I'll do I'll warp into Invicta right now. Coach, Jameis Winston, I know he did okay, but take him out behind the shed. He made the dumb comments after the game. Can Bruce Arians? Oh my God. I thought he was going to be good.
Take Jameis Winston behind a barn, use a 12-gauge shotgun, put it inside his mouth, and pull the trigger. That's what I want to see.
That's what I want to see. Go Browns.
Get some crab legs.
Hey, thanks, Invicta. So that was the games of week 3. Now, I'm going to have to harness this Invicta energy again to go to the NFL.com power ranking official rankings of the
internet.
Bible of the internet ranking power rankings, Coach.
I don't know if he's always like directly implying that he wants to explode their skulls when he says take him out behind the shed with a shotgun. I wanted to complete that one time where I was going with it. But
I
sorry,
feel you.
please continue.
He definitely wants that.
He probably.
But yeah, go on.
So These are the NFL power ranking Bible of the Internet power rankings. Rob.
Yes, sir.
Do you believe?
Oh, wait, sorry. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm ready for the question.
Over. Yeah. So, are the New York Jets ranking below the Washington Redskins for the second worst team in football?
Ronch, I'm gonna say they are definitely the worst team in football.
That is incorrect. The Miami
Incorrect.
Dolphins
Incorrect
are the
answer.
worst team, and the Redskins are 30th, putting the Jets at 31.
I really wanted those Jets tickets.
Hang up on the collar.
All right, now, Bear Taffy, can you name me the top 5 teams of the NFL 2019 Best Bible of the Internet Power Rankings?
Oh, you bet your sweet patookus, Mr. Sinvicta. I can do that.
Yep.
We're going to start with number 1. That's the good old-fashioned New England Patriots.
That is correct.
Number 2, I'm even going to go in order for you. It's going to
Okay.
be the Kansas City Chiefs.
That is correct.
Number 3, probably going to be the Green Bay Packers, I'd guess.
That is incorrect.
Incorrect. Oh, my goodness. Number
I'll
3
give
might be
you-
the Los Angeles Rams then.
That is correct.
That is
4.
correct. All right. Number 4 could perhaps be the Packers in that
That
slot?
is incorrect.
Incorrect. Oh, my goodness. Coach Krendor is going to
Dude,
feel disrespected.
I feel very disrespected. This is actually shameful.
This is upsetting even me right now.
Yeah.
Could it perhaps, by some miracle, be the Buffalo Bills?
Close, but no. Rob, would you like a chance?
Yeah, what was the question?
The number 4 team in the NFL. We have Patriots, Chiefs, Rams, then who?
Say Cowboys. Say Cowboys. I do kind of want to say Cowboys. Yeah, he's right. Cowboys.
Cowboys are, in fact, the number 4 team.
Let's go.
And number 5,
Tell me it's the Packers now.
it is the Green Bay
Oh,
Packers.
thank
with
goodness.
the
Krendor would be
Bills.
upset.
Your Sinvicta
I would
impression
be very-
has slowly morphed into that guy who's like giving the wedding officiator from the Princess Bride. We gather here today in solemn
Whoa, Wav.
matrimony.
And the Buffalo Bills are 6.
Well,
And
okay,
the 49ers 7, Bears 8, Vikings 9, Saints 10.
Damn.
Ravens 11. I think that's a little low for the Ravens, honestly.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, after that
I'd-
Chiefs game, I'd still have them up at the top 10 for
I'd
sure.
honestly
Maybe even
put the-
a little higher.
I'd put the Ravens at like 6 or 7.
Me too.
Yeah.
I would put
Yeah.
them ahead of maybe the Bills and maybe the Niners.
Yeah.
Oh, ahead of the Niners, definitely. I think the
yeah.
Ravens could be
I
the
think the
Niners.
49ers should be at 11, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Any other crazy shit on here? I don't think so. Panthers, Browns,
Any big drops?
Titans.
Yeah, big drops.
Big drops.
Fat doinks.
The Steelers have dropped 7 spots.
Hold on, dude. That's too good to just brush over it. We gotta call them fat doinks now.
Fat doinks.
Who's
Fat
the
doinks.
fattest doink of the week?
Fat.
The fat.
Who's the
There's,
fattest doink in Amish, Krendor, please?
There's a tie for 2 fat doinks this week. Who do you think those 2 teams are? I'll give
Who was-
Rob the first guess.
The fattest doink. Fattest doink. You know what?
Who's plorping down, dude?
I think the Browns.
The Browns took a
the-
big old plorp.
The Browns had a doink, but not the fattest doink.
Okay.
They had a fat doink, FAT. We're looking for the PHAT doinks, dude. Those
Right.
fat.
Fat doinks down in Amish.
Could it be the Broncos, maybe?
No, it is not the Broncos. They only fell 1 spot. They were already at 27.
I guess
They're
they
on
were pretty
28
low
now.
already, huh? Yeah. Oh man, who was up there before this week? Maybe the Panthers? No, they won this week, so
they won. They actually went up 4 spots.
Oh, Falcons maybe.
Oh, Falcons, yeah.
Falcons went up 1 spot somehow.
What? Okay.
From 21 to 20.
Was it Cincinnati then?
The Bengals went down 1. They're already 26, so they can't fall that far.
Who was the fattest?
It was the Eagles dropping 9 spots from 8 to 17, and the Seahawks falling 9 spots from 6 to 15.
Okay, yeah, that one makes. I mean, if they were from 6 to 15, I suppose that's pretty fair. But like,
okay, yeah, I suppose you're right.
And the Fat Risers. The Giants going from 31 to 23. At 8 spots, and the Jaguars from 25 to 18, rising 7 spots.
Okay.
All right.
So those
I'm okay
are
with both of those. Yeah.
the NFL Power Ranking Bible, the Internet Power Rankings of the week.
Take them out behind the shed, put them and blow them away.
Bible of the internet.
Bible of the Internet. So now we got pick'ems. Get ready. Get ready for the pick'ems. Here we go. First match of the week is Thursday night, Eagles at Green Bay.
Gotta go Green Bay. Yeah.
I will very much go Green Bay.
I'm gonna go, and it's at Green Bay too.
It's at Green Bay, yes.
Yeah.
With an Aaron Rodgers that just said he did not take any damage during the game.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's like, let's do it. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Really quickly, can I retroactively just go ahead and add a loss to my pick'ems? Because I just want to be honest with the fact that if I had gotten my submission in for Thursday night Bucks Panthers, I would have picked Panthers, and they lost.
All right.
So I just want to be complete with that.
Fair.
We'll tally you in a loss, no problem.
Yeah.
In fact, speaking of the pick'ems, it looks like where was it? I think Hippo Nora tweeted at us. Here we are.
Thank you for keeping that up, by the way.
Yeah. Me and Sinvicta are 11-6. So we are
did
actually
pretty good this week, huh?
Yeah, we're actually doing pretty well. Rob coming in at 9-8, and then that would put Bear at 8-10.
It's like
call it 8-10.
It's like the reverse of last year, right? Like
oh yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
I won last year by picking less, though. That's the thing. All I did was just pick on the weeks that I felt the strongest.
That's a fair point, yeah.
Sinvicta got his Dolphins lock. And then...
And, by the way, I want this live on air. There was no rule that we can't pick the same team multiple weeks in a row. That did not exist, and Hippo Nora confirmed that on Twitter. So I was gaslit, but that rule didn't exist.
True fans always knew.
Exactly.
Team Rob. And then I locked in the Packers. Rob locked in the Seahawks, which was not good.
Yep. Yeah,
and Bear, the 49er lock.
Pretty happy with that one.
Let's see. Looks like Sinvicta will be coming in for these picks any second now. And then, so I guess, all right, we'll just move on. And then we'll go back and ask him. Redskins, Giants.
Daniel Dimes, dude. Let's go. I'm riding the wave. Here we go.
I mean, I can't pick the Redskins after watching them for like 5 minutes last night. They're not good.
Do you know how happy I'll be if I get to actually watch a New York team and root for them this year? And it's going to be great. I can't wait.
You're not rooting for the Buffalo Bills?
I actually am. I've said this ever since I started watching football. I'm a fan of New York. So I'm usually against the Bills because they're in my division, but now that the Jets are pretty much done, go Bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go Bills. Chiefs, Lions.
Something in my gut is telling me Lions this week.
I feel that too.
Yeah, I mean they could pull that upset win, but I'm still going Chiefs because
I am too. Yeah,
I'm gonna do it. Lions.
Do it! Hell yeah!
There it is. There it is.
Fortune favors the bold, Bear.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't last week, but let's keep rolling with it.
Man, this is Titans at Falcons. This is the ultimate toss-up game.
The pendulum's swinging back to the Titans here, so you got to keep that in mind.
That's very
the good
true.
form is fighting this week. But Matt Ryan will throw for 3 touchdowns and 300 yards.
Yeah.
So there's that to consider.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Titans can keep up with that. In fact, I think they might just double it.
I think the Titans, they're lucky to go up against this shitty Falcons defense, so they won't get sacked as much, and I think Derrick Henry will run through them. So I'm going to take the Titans, too.
I'm going to take the Dirty Birds.
There it is.
This might be like the last time that I can comfortably take them, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Falcons so that I can root for Matt Ryan this week in fantasy.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
That's not bad. Not a bad idea.
I'm not going to be picking the Falcons.
All right. So Invicta is taking the Titans.
Oh, let's quick run through all the things,
Eagles, Packers, Invicta.
Packers.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah,
Redskins,
Redskins,
Giants.
Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs, Lions.
Chiefs.
All right.
Wow. All right, there he goes.
Looking good.
Cool.
Coming up
sorry, I'm
next.
late.
It's all good. I had to do the NFL power rankings.
He did, like, it was dead on. You got to listen to the show.
It was
Listen
pretty
to it
spot
accurate,
on,
yeah.
honestly.
Oh, I plan on it.
We also, don't worry, I also took Jameis Winston out behind the shed, and I hate Bruce Arians for that shitty thing of defending Jameis Winston on the field goal.
Yep. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it.
No problem. I got you.
Yep.
Would you like to insert any Buccaneers bashing while you're here?
I hope they all die in a bus crash.
There you go. All right, nice. Browns, Ravens.
Go Browns.
Go Brownies, man. Fuck it.
I'm taking the Ravens.
Come on. I'm going to take the
Wow.
Ravens. Don't pick the Ravens.
The Browns
on,
were supposed to
gotta
be
go
fun this year, and they haven't been fun.
They're going to be fun this week.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
They are going to lose, but pick them. Just pick
Yeah.
them anyway.
Come on.
We'll all
taking-
lose together. Just
Yeah,
go
that's
Browns.
like,
Come on.
That's like logging against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Ravens.
God.
Well, now that Krendor has doubled down, I feel perfectly comfortable doing the same. And
Wait for someone else.
Yeah, I'm
I'm
gonna
picking the Browns. You guys are
Yeah.
lame.
go Browns.
Yeah, go Browns. Go
All
Browns.
right. Well, whatever.
are
Raiders, Colts.
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 Yeah, I got to pick the Colts. I wanna pick the Raiders, but like the Raiders, I think just kind of had like a surge of energy at the beginning of the season that is now fizzled out completely.
Yeah.
It's all gone.
They had that angry at AB energy, but
Exactly,
now AB
yeah,
tanked
that-
himself, and
So they're like, oh fuck, there goes our spike.
We have
mission.
nothing to be mad at now.
Then we have the Patriots at Buffalo. I'm taking the upset of the week with Buffalo.
Yeah, I think
picking.
I'm with you. I think I'm taking the Bills too.
I think you both are high as hell. I'm going for the Patriots.
I did not expect those to be the things that came out of your mouths. I was just about to say, do you guys think this is going to be competitive? Y'all are fucking insane. The Patriots going to destroy the Bills.
Hey man, the Bills at home, they got some crazy energy when they do
I
that.
know, but do you know the Patriots' actual record against them? Have you looked it up? Look it up.
know.
I don't even want to tell you what it is. Look
they
it up.
almost beat them last year in Buffalo, and they're probably worse last year.
If you can look at that record over even like the last 20 years and tell me with a sure as shit conviction in your heart that they're going to win based on that, you go for it, dude. That's your cross to bear.
You are convincing me too well, Bear Taffy, and I hate it.
I want to say the numbers because they're absurd.
No, actually, I do, because it is a hilarious statistic.
Do you have it pulled up?
It's got to
I
stop
don't.
sometime, right?
All right,
Go
let me-
Bills.
Patriots versus Bills record history. Let me pull this up here for real quick because I got to make sure it's dead on.
Great
It's
song by
absurd.
Stain, by the way. Bear is across the bear. Great song.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I made that reference for you.
Yeah.
All right. Since the year 2000, the Bills have beat the Patriots 4 times.
Oh, boy.
Uh,
Do you know how many times they've played the Patriots?
how many?
28.
They're 4-24.
Well,
Sorry, 32. I miscounted, but that's still like ridiculous.
It's about to
It's
be
ridiculous.
5. Bills win.
But yeah, and now here's the thing. Before 2 seasons ago, the Bills
never had a guy
also
that could
hadn't
hurdle
been
a
in the
man.
playoffs. Yeah, they hadn't been in the playoffs for a decade.
Yeah.
But they turned that around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Patriots now, though. So
Thank you. Yeah.
You just wait. You guys wait. And then you'll be like, wow, I can't believe the Bills pulled that upset off and take over the AFC North. Crazy.
All right. Well, I'm glad to see the coach had his whiskey today.
Woo! Moving on. We have the Panthers Texans.
I think Texans at home. The
Yeah.
Panthers.
Dude,
Panthers
Kyle
are right.
Allen.
that's the thing, right? Is
Yeah,
that like-
Kyle Allen.
Kyle Allen.
And I mean, you know what? I'll take the Panthers.
I'll
the
go
Christian,
Panthers.
Yeah,
I'm
Carolina
still going
McCaffreys, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
The Carolina McCaffreys take this one.
Yeah, I'm going Texans.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're split there.
Yep.
Here's one: Chargers Dolphins.
That's true. Game, huh?
Well, it's
take it.
obvious the Dolphins
Yeah.
are going to win this one.
All right, so Rob's going to take the extra L today.
I might actually rank the Dolphins as one of the worst teams to ever play in the NFL
Of all time?
of all time. Yes,
I think they're actually like on paper, based on the talent they have, I think they are worse than the 0-16 Browns team from 2 years ago.
Yeah, I think they are. And they have a couple they play the Redskins and they play the Jets. So there is a possibility
Yeah.
that they could pull off some crazy upsets, but I still don't think they will.
Yeah.
They're just
And it's
bad.
not going to be this week either.
Definitely
No,
not.
definitely not this week.
You got to
they're
feel
gonna lose.
bad for Rosen.
Yeah, you do.
I feel really bad for
He
him.
went
From
from-
one shit show to another.
Well, he
Yeah.
went from Rob's like poster child in Arizona to he's on the worst team that's ever touched the pitch.
Yeah.
I don't know I ever defended Josh Rosen. Seriously, honestly. I definitely didn't. He was pretty low on my list, but
I mean, you still did the
still.
chosen Rosen. You had a good
Yeah.
amount of praise.
I still, I definitely argued that it was silly for them to take a QB, but I did also argue that Kyler Murray, I thought, was a better QB than Josh Rosen. I think ultimately I might be just straight up proven wrong, though, in that, like, I still feel it was a bad choice to do that, but I think I might just be proven wrong because Kyler Murray might be, like, legit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh.
No. So then we have the Buccaneers at Rams.
Rams.
Yeah, Rams.
Bucks are terrible.
It's at Rams, too. That's
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah, it's at
That
Rams.
would be
too.
a big time shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Here's an
locking
interesting
in the
one.
Rams.
Oh,
Locking
the Ram lock.
Locking
There it
locking
is.
in the Rams.
I love us locking in against our own teams on this show. That's two of you in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank God the Jets don't play this week.
And hey, what a coincidence! It's the two with the worst possible teams in the NFL locking against their own.
Wow.
Hey,
team.
the Buccaneers have plenty of room to go down before they're considered the worst team in the NFL this year.
Yeah,
But you got to
they
admit
go
that.
right off that cliff.
Seahawks Cardinals.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
That will
Yeah.
be interesting.
I'm going to pick Cardinals here.
Really?
I'm gonna take the Cardinals too.
You know, I took them last week and I got burned, but I do think this would be a close game. But I'll still take the Seahawks here because I'm
All right.
losing on the meta game.
I lost a ton of faith in them last week, man.
Yeah.
I'm going Seahawks.
All right, it's a little split there. I think the Cardinals are gonna pull this one out. Vikings Bears.
Go
This is a good
Bears.
one.
Yeah,
I'll be happy with whoever loses this game because I really don't care. But as somebody who's played both these teams already and beaten them, and as somebody who watches the Bears pretty much every week just because they're on, and so I just watch them. I think the Bears will win this one. I think
Yeah.
they'll shut down Cook. And I think they'll make Cousins throw, and he's not going to win like my formula has predicted so far.
I agree with that prediction and formula.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You too soon?
Yep, Bears.
All right. Then we've got
Bears.
the Bears, Jaguars, Broncos.
Jags here, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Gardner
I'm going
Minshew,
Jaguars, too.
The
Gotta go
meme
Gardner.
machine. Gardner Minshew the second.
Broncos are on the down spiral.
Gardner Minshew, if you look at a picture of him, he looks like he's a 70s Vietnam War vet playing as the QB for the Jaguars
really
in 2019. It's incredible. The man is just a living meme, and he absolutely is going to win.
Yeah. I really want to go for the Broncos here for the counter pick, but they're real bad.
Yeah. Did you know they have 0 turnovers and 0 sacks?
Yikes.
By turnovers, I mean their defense hasn't gotten any turnovers.
Oh, yeah. They've given up plenty of turnovers.
Yeah, they sure have. Thank God.
Yeah.
And then we have Cowboys Saints.
Jeez, like I want to just insta-pick Cowboys here, but that's what I did last week. But the Seahawks are bad. The Cowboys... Well, the Cowboys were almost going to lose to the Dolphins, it looked like, for a moment there.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, the Cowboys have not beaten quality opponents. They beat the Giants, the Redskins, and the Dolphins. Like, that's not a very hard schedule so far.
And unfortunately for Bear, they're not even playing the Seahawks. They're playing the Saints.
Yeah.
No,
I didn't even hear him say that.
That's not what I said, but whatever. It's fine.
I think you mean the Saints play the Seahawks, right?
I don't.
Very lost. Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, whatever. Either way, I think.
You're talking about New Orleans playing the Seahawks last week.
Yeah.
Not Cowboys playing the Seahawks this week.
Yeah.
I got
so this I don't know who to take.
So I'm gonna take the Cowboys here, but my reason is this. Last year, the Saints played a really tough game against Dallas, and they barely got enough points to even win the game. You guys remember that in the playoffs, right? Like it was really, really, really close. And that was fiercely fought with Drew Brees. And basically this
You
Saints
said Brew Brees just now, didn't you?
Brees. They said the word wrong.
What an idiot. Get him.
That guy's an idiot, dude.
But so like that was with Drew Brees. So I think even though I actually believe in Teddy Bridgewater and I like that dude like a lot, I think if the only difference between the games is that Drew Brees is out, that means that the Cowboys have the advantage, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like I agree with you on that on paper, but what the Saints did last week was like a domination of the Seahawks in Seattle, which on paper also shouldn't happen. So it's confusing. This is a very complicated pick.
It'll be an interesting
one of the more
game.
complicated picks of the week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I'm gonna go Cowboys though.
Hell yeah, brother.
I'm gonna go Saints. Screw it.
All right.
I'll be that guy.
Going Cowboys. I mean, Drew Brees is the most underrated quarterback of all time. But he's not playing in the game. And I watched the Saints play, so yeah. I think Cowboys just have an all-around better team.
All right.
And Amari Cooper is an absolute monster right now.
He really is. Man, who would trade him away?
Not me, because I've got him on my team.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to do? Trade their best pass rusher away on top of it?
Yeah. Who are they, Tampa?
Yeah. And then the Monday night thriller, Bengals Steelers.
Humdinger, boys.
Man, these Monday night games have sure been fantastic. The Saints Texans was good, but ever since then it's been
the past like 2 years. I feel like they've been actually giving the Monday night game like the Thursday night game, basically. Like they're just like, oh, this sucks. Like I think they're ready to cut ties with ESPN.
Hey, next week, Browns 49ers Monday night. Watch out there.
That actually might be a good game.
That actually might be a good game. I just made fun of it, and then I thought about it, and I was like, oh, wait, the 49ers have been playing good. So I'm like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, that could be good.
I'll take
Steelers here?
Yeah.
I'm going to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Bengals.
Yeah. I'm going Bengals. The Steelers don't convince me of anything. I think their spirits are broken. And, and Booger McFarland might be the worst thing to ever touch a microphone.
Yeah,
Dude, I gotta say, too, have you guys noticed the past, 3 weeks, the times that we've been doing the pick'ems? We've been more split this year than last year by a huge margin, I feel like. And
there's a lot of toss-up games.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of tossing up right now, which is and I think that's totally, that's not just us. I think the rest of the league is like that. I think it's really up in the air right now.
Yeah. So who are our locks?
Oh yeah, man.
That's a tough one this week.
So Sinvicta locked the Rams.
Go
Sinvicta
Rams.
locked the Rams.
I'm gonna
Dude,
lock
I
the
don't
Chargers
know.
against the Dolphins.
You can't.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna go ahead and lock the Colts in over the Raiders.
I was gonna.
That's
do
a
that.
good one.
I'm gonna do that too. I think.
Can you do that?
Yeah, we do that.
Alright.
Yeah, you can have the same lock.
I don't mind
As
that.
long as you don't lock the same team twice in the consecutive weeks.
Yes, because that is a new rule that we have
Yep.
here in 2019. New
It helps
rule.
prevent things like I locked the Chiefs again.
Yeah.
Or the Patriots again, and that type of thing. Man, I was gonna lock the Packers, but I feel like that's not even a fun lock. So I'm gonna lock the Bills against the Patriots.
Oh shit!
That's how confident I am in this Buffalo
absolute
Bill.
fucking maniac. What is wrong with you?
Just
You
wait.
want to lose points? You want me to catch up in the predictions?
I remember last year, everyone was like, "Coach, are you out of your mind?" when I said I'm locking the Titans to beat the Patriots, and they beat the Patriots. And then
I do
everyone
remember
was
that,
like,
yeah.
"What the shit?" And
I
this
do
is that
remember
scenario.
that. Although
But
I
what-
also do remember you doing that almost every week.
All right,
That was the time.
I mean, you know, even the sun shines on a dead dog's ass every day.
And this week is the ass of that dog. It is a Bills lock, and just watch and see.
All right.
So that is the picks for this
Dude,
week.
I will give you a 14-point fucking spread on this win. That's how confident I am.
All right.
Man.
I will easily take that, no doubt. And that's that.
Yeah.
So
Sorry,
thanks.
I was late, everyone. It's my
that's
fault.
all good.
Did we all lock? Or do we all have locks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The lock? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Rams.
Oh yeah.
So thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you again next week. Got some fun Thursday night action. Packers, go Pack, go. And we'll see those Bills beat the Patriots. Should be fun.
Not Star Wars, Rob. Still not Star Wars.
Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. We're over 1,000 subs while we keep subbing over there.
So famous.
We're so famous, dude. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
What the? All right, I'm stopping this.